Hello, my name's Zina and welcome to the first official episode of VRTV, the only tech and entertainment show that concentrates solely on virtual reality. Joining me today is 3D artist and producer Stef Keegan, who will be giving us the down low on Pixel Ripped. Also joining us is Daley Johnson from Coatsink, who has provided VRTV with an exclusive, never seen before video of Esper 2. But before we get into all that business, there's first the news roundup, and I will also be announcing the winner of the Google Cardboard giveaway. HTC have finally told us what we've all been waiting to hear, the price of the HTC Vive, which will be $799 US. Although it is $200 more than the Oculus Rift, the pretty impressive bundle will include the Vive HMD, 2 motion controllers, 2 Lighthouse base stations, earbuds, and Steam codes for Job Simulator and Fantastic Contraption. If you're wondering whether or not your PC will be ready for the Vive, Valve has released a performance testing tool which will check your specs and see if it's up to scratch. Pre-orders will go live this Monday on the 29th of February and shipping will start on the 1st of April. There's a chance for you to get your hands on a free Samsung Gear VR with pre-orders of the Galaxy S7 and S7 Edge. Samsung UK, Carphone Warehouse and Vodafone are all giving away the free HMD with pre-orders placed before the 10th of March, so you only have 2 weeks to place your order. And finally, LG has announced their very own VR products, including a pretty sleek looking pair of VR glasses that will connect to their flagship phone, the G5, via USB, and they have also announced a 360 camera. Now for something I know quite a few of you guys have been waiting for, the reveal of the legendary Google Cardboard winners. Those of you who tweeted me telling me who you'd want to see on future shows have been entered, but there can only be 2 winners. C. Bixby, who would love to see Oculus's John Carmack, and R.G. Slutsky, who wants to see VR filmmaker Chris Milk. Thank you to everyone who tweeted me, and make sure that you tune in at the end of the show for another competition. But for now, let's go on a mad nostalgic VR trip with Stef Keegan. I'd like to introduce our first ever guest on VRTV, Stef Keegan. Welcome to VRTV.
Thank you for having me.
So you're working as the 3D artist and producer for Pixel Ripped. So for those who don't know what the game is, could you explain the concept behind it?
It's essentially a trip to the 80s where you play a game within a game. You're put in a classroom, you're 10 years old again, and you have to complete a standard 8-bit game while not getting caught by the teacher. And there's other things going on as well, but the essence of the game is about being able to play the games you love without the world around you stopping you. So you have to deal with the 3D environment from the VR perspective, but you also have to complete an 8-bit platformer at the same time.
So it's completely immersing yourself into the retro nostalgia.
Absolutely. And this particular episode is just 1989, but we are going to do episodes for each gaming generation. So we're particularly concentrating on the kind of handheld, late 80s stuff at the moment.
How did the concept form? Who came up with it?
So my co-founder is a great designer called Anna Hiberu, and she went to the National Film and Television School where we met, and she had to make a graduation project. Now, being a big girl gamer, she wanted to make a game about gaming, and she apparently had a dream that her TV was coming to life and the world around her was becoming 8-bit, and she was like, that would make a cool game. So having fallen in love with the Oculus, she saw the perfect opportunity to utilize it. She put together this demo of a game in a classroom where you're playing a game within a game, and put it on bravely put it on Steam. Like it had warts and all, like out there, and put it on the Oculus Share, and not really knowing what to expect. But because there was nothing else out there like that at the time, people with early DK1s and DK2s just lapped it up, and YouTubers who were doing VR particular stuff loved it. And the momentum of the game just grew and grew, and then it was like, oh, we actually have to make this now. And that's what happened. So we ended up going completely back to the drawing board, deleting the project essentially and starting from scratch to make a proper game.
So talking about the 8-bit gaming experience that you can have within the game, how difficult was it to apply 2D art to VR?
It wasn't that difficult because it's contained within the Game Boy unit, and it's the way we build it is it's 2 separate scenes being rendered at the same time, and then that just sits on a plane inside the Game Boy. So it's really quite simple. The real challenge is getting that essence exactly right, and we have a great pixel artist called William he has done a lot of research into the right colours and playing a lot of games because he's really young. I think he's still at college or uni, and so he wasn't around when these games were around, but he is playing them all. He's absolutely addicted, and that's how we've managed to get that perfect essence. Because the 80s is always remembered as like bright and crazy and horrible contrasting colours. I always think of like Toe Jam and Earl's backgrounds and things like that. Yeah. So we wanted to make sure there was a lot of bright primary colours everywhere.
So there's only a demo out right now?
Actually, it's not out at all now.
Not out at all?
No, because the game has taken such a different turn, we decided to remove the demo because it's not quite what it's going to be now. But we are releasing in a month.
In a month?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have an exact date?
End of March.
End of March.
Because the Oculus will be coming out. So we want to be there for that.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us here on VRTV.
Well, thank you for having me.
Joining me next will be Daley Johnson from Coatsink to talk about the sequel to Esper 2.
Hello and welcome to the ESPR training program. My name is, let's just get on with it already. In the drawer to your left, yada yada yada, puzzle cube, you're a genius, good luck.
Ernie reported a strong telekinetic anomaly in Southeast Asia and requested an agent to help investigate. If my suspicions are correct, then time is of the essence.
Remember back in the day when it was only the smart ones who got ESP?
This will be one of my many tests I have in store for you.
Joining me now is Daley Johnson, Community Manager for Coatsink. It's lovely to have you.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So you're here to talk about Esper 2, and it has pretty interesting concepts. Would you be able to explain what it's all about?
Yeah, well basically it's set in like an alternative 1975 where you're a member of the public who's developed telekinesis. There's been a bit of an outbreak and lots of people have suddenly developed telekinesis, and so the government have commissioned tests to make, to assess people to see if they're a risk, to society or not, and to see the extent of their powers. And so you take on the role of one of these people, and you're put through a series of tests to, gauge how powerful / risky you are. Esper 2 is a direct continuation, and essentially you are the same person, and you're back with Jeff with the ESPR organisation. An incident occurs, shall I say, I don't want to spoil anything.
That's
and you see yourself in a variety of scenarios. You're not being tested anymore. This time you're actually using your abilities to, resolve situations, shall we say.
So from how much it has expanded from the first one, how much has the gameplay changed?
Well, in Esper 1, a lot of it was about, solving puzzles. Basically, that was the long and short of it. Whereas in Esper 2, because we take you to a bigger variety of environments and levels, you've got a lot more things to interact with. You have more of an interaction with objects in the world. And there's more sort of reason to it, if that makes sense. So, you're interacting with the environment a lot more.
There's, of course, also been an expansion in cast. So how has it been working with new voice actors from different kinds of media?
It's been absolutely brilliant having the new voice cast come in, because we've been able to expand our narrative a lot more, and obviously the cast that we have bring a lot more sort of character and comedy to the game, because you know we like having a slight comedic edge, so it definitely makes the game feel more colourful.
So who features?
We've got Eric Meyers, who returns as Jeff. We've got Nick Frost. We've got Lara Pulver, and we have Sean Pertwee.
And you guys at Coatsink have got a new video featuring Nick Frost talking about VR.
Yeah.
And here at VRTV, we have got a little sneak peek at the video. Take a look.
Yeah, I play Ernie, who he's kind of nervous. I think as a fallout from the end of the first game, you know. So close, yet so far. I'm never sure if he's trying to help or trying to hinder. I mean, I think he has a good heart, but he's oddly afraid of telekinesis.
Please, don't let me discourage you. You can do this.
I did have a go, and I was surprised how compact it was. There were no wires running into my spine or brain or anus. It had so much depth that someone was talking to me on my right and I kept turning to see if they were in the room, which I guess is a sign of either a very weak mind or a very good VR.
So Daley, what was Nick Frost's reaction to being involved in VR?
Well, he was actually really enthusiastic about it, which was great. I'm not sure that he'd ever used VR before, right. So it was like a completely new experience for him, and he seemed really interested in it, which was great.
So did he bring up the atmosphere in the studio?
Yeah, totally, absolutely, yeah, as he would.
In order for VR to be completely immersive, for it to be a real experience, is it really important to get the right voice actors for the parts?
I would definitely say it would be important to get, you know, voice actors who are going to bring more life to the game and are enthusiastic about it, because if you think about the voices that you hear in any game you play, never mind VR, you can really attach to them, and it can make a game like 1 billion times better because of a specific voice actor. So it's definitely, you know, a big factor in it, I would say, to, you know, make the game like more enjoyable.
So where can we pick up Esper 2?
Esper 2 is currently out on the Gear VR, and it's going to be a launch title for the Oculus Rift.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us, and you too again, Stef. Now for your chance to win an HP Envy supplied by AMD, either comment below or simply tweet me at Xena VR Focus with the hashtag VRTV. Winners will be announced on the next show, so make sure you tune in. See you then.